Freebie Thursday. We love to see it. Guess what? We're back with another Freebie Thursday. This is episode 5, I want to say. And I'm excited to take it back a little bit and go over some more basics. Alright, so this is coming from experience, like every other video is coming from experience, but this is one where I couldn't get through my head for the longest time. And now I'm like, it's worth it. The steps to be successful are worth it. So let's get into an explanation of what I mean. I've talked about it before, but I want to talk about it again. Storyboarding is so important. I used to have a vendetta for storyboarding. I used to shoot videos where I just got so comfortable with it, where I was like, I don't need a storyboard, I already know what's gonna happen. But then I had videos where I was like, I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm just gonna pray that everything works out the way I want it to, and that my brain can think creatively on the spot. My vendetta against storyboarding is I just don't have the patience to sit there and draw stick figures and try to explain what my images mean when I have to tell who I'm filming for, like, this is what this stick figure looks like and this is what it represents. No, okay? I'm not sitting there drawing and figuring out. I spent more time figuring out how to draw what I was thinking than the shot needed to be written out. I got down a rabbit hole of watching all of Daniel Schiffer's videos. He's an amazing YouTuber. And he makes shot lists. He writes out his shot list. He doesn't, it's another form of storyboarding. And I was like, ding, 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 how did I not think of that? All I had to do was write out my shots that I wanted instead of putting the pressure on myself to draw them and feel like shit for how they came out. Here were the steps I took to liking storyboarding. I grabbed a fun notebook, which I can show you. This is the notebook that I have that has all of my shots in here, everything that I need, everything that I'm planning for the week ahead, so that way it's all written down, all my creative senses have been put on the paper. You gotta grab something that makes you feel good, okay? Like, opening this book, I'm like, creativity is already skyrocketing. First, your props and everything that you're gonna need to film. Obviously, write out what product you're going to use. Write out the props that would enhance the video or that you absolutely need for the video, like lights, or maybe something like a mist bottle if you need the product to have condensation. Then you're going to write down step by step of all the shots that you want to capture. Shots that you think would look cool, shots that you want to attempt to get, and just kind of write them out, explain them as best as you can. Number 2, plan out your videos. Take the time, sit down maybe every Sunday, once a week, write down everything that you want to capture, products that you found around your house, or that brands that you're working with that you want to film for. Buy a calendar, write down days that you want to film, days you want to capture content, days you plan on posting them. Give yourself a week to edit them. You do not need to film and edit in the same exact day. If you have the time and the stamina, absolutely go for it, but do not put the pressure on yourself. Planning is going to be your best friend, and it's going to allow you to not feel crazy and feel like you're behind on everything. All right, and tip number 3, which I hate doing, but I've ripped the Band-Aid off plenty of times, ask for help. I've needed to ask my mom to be my hands in my video. I've reached out to a couple friends that I really only hang out with in a bar setting, but needed the extra hands, and offered them a 6-pack. And it just enhances everything, takes the stress off of everything. There are times where you're filming product videos and you don't want to just have it on a tripod. It's never fun to have still camera movements. There are times where you can easily set your camera up on a tripod and still have the movement within the object and not just the camera, as in putting a cup down in the shot, or pouring something, movement in your shot, but the camera can remain on a tripod. There are other times where you're going to need to move with the camera, and you're going to want to capture your shot and have your camera kind of glide across the area in which you're filming, but have at the same time somebody's hand coming in with the object or pouring something or cutting something, and you simply can't do that. You only have two hands. Reach out to somebody. Ask your girlfriends, ask your guys, ask whoever. If you have a significant other, if you live with roommates, I'm sure if you just bribe them with a 6-pack or a cake or something, or if they're just truly your besties, they will give you, it'll just make you relax. Like, I have so many thoughts in my head of how I can film things, and then I'm like, well, I don't have anybody, so I'm just not gonna film it. Call a friend. Like, it's something to do with a friend that you can make fun, and then I'm sure they'll be glad to do. I'm sure they'll be glad to help you with. Those are the top 3 tips for this week: storyboarding, planning, and asking for help. See you next week on 3B Thursdays. Can't wait to hang out with you with some new tips and tricks on how to enhance your content career.